Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. I'm with my lovely graphic for our SOAP framework. We've done our story, our options, our action, and today we're going to talk on day 18 of our free Get Up and Go challenge. Progress, financial progress. Progress with respect to our financial life, the P in our SOAP framework. So, yesterday we shared an action that we took. We took an action yesterday, right? Didn't we all? I actually outlined a consulting gig, and then now I have to keep doing the next steps. I have to create the funnel. I have to offer it to people, and then use that to create, or a service offer is what I'm doing. Offer my services in order to generate $10,000 worth of income for the project to refix things around the house that got damaged by a storm. So, what is our tool today? Our tool for knowing progress. How do we know if we're making progress or not? Well, in our story, we decided, we talked about, we were really honest with where we are. That's our current state, our current situation. Then we also told the story about where do we want to be. Here's my financial situation with respect to this storm damage. We have lots of damage, more than $10,000, but I want to contribute $10K. And then where do I want to be? I want the house to be better than it was before the storm hit. So that's my vision of what I want. Well, how do I know if I'm getting there? Well, my specific example for finances is I want to generate $10K to contribute to going from where I am, my current situation, to my desired situation. A lot of times I call this going from C to D. People say A to Z, climbing the mountain, whatever you want to say. It's the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And the rest of our SOAP framework, remember our S was to identify those 2 points, and the O, the A, and the P are to fill those gaps in, to move us closer and closer and closer to what it is that we want or need in certain situations. So how do we do that? How do we know if we're getting closer to what we want or if we're getting further away from what we want? Well, we take action and we pay attention to the results of that action. So we want to be moving toward what we want and away from what we don't want. So we took an action yesterday, and a lot of times one day's action isn't going to let us know, and we won't have in our mind yet an idea of whether we're going toward what we want or not, whether we're really making progress or not. But the way to know that is we create a form of measurement. We measure the things that matter in our life. Why? Because we're paying attention to those things. And what we pay attention to, what we think about, we create in our life. I'm not going to pretend that I made that up. That's something that basically all of us know over time as we grow and become wiser and we learn and we experience things. We realize that we create the things we want based on the things that we think about. We also create the things we don't want based on the things we think about. So I say let's focus on the things we want all the time and always be moving from where we are to where we want to go, getting closer and closer and closer to those things. Does that mean we're going to go directly there with a straight line? No, that would be ridiculous to expect. You know, it's like expecting to ride a bike the first time you got on a bike, or drive a car the first time you got in a car. You might drive a car, but were you awesome and proficient at it? I think not. I remember driver's ed. It wasn't that fun an experience for me. I also remember driving with my dad one time and then saying, I will never drive with you again. I'm riding with my mom, and my mom had to teach me how to drive. So what kind of a tool, what kind of a measure can we use for our financial health, our financial measurements? We know how we're doing. Well, it can be something super simple or it can be something super complicated. I like financial because I think it's one of the easiest things to measure. We can measure our dollars, money in the bank. We can measure net worth. We can measure net income before or after taxes. We can measure expenses. Are we reducing a certain expense? Are we paying off a certain debt? We can actually usually measure it in dollars. It's very concrete. Excuse me. So for this one, I decided my measure is going to be like one of those fundraising thermostats, right? And I'm going to actually track on here as I get from zero. I already have $100, so I donated $100 to the cause, and now I'm going to earn the rest, right? So as I earn money, this is dollars, I will fill in this, just like you see at the grocery stores when they're doing fundraisers for things. I don't know if they still do that, but they did when I was a kid. So I think it's a fun graphic way to represent and look at something. Now, I'm going to keep this one in this notebook, but I could make a big poster board of my goal, depending on, or I could make a vision board of my goal. I could do whatever I want, but I want to find a measure. So our action item today is to pick a measurement that you can use to know if you're getting and making progress toward your goal or your objective with respect to this area of your finances. So to me, it can be super simple or it can be super complicated. I'm going to go for the super fun, super simple, graphic, visual way of seeing that I'm making progress. And I think this is kind of a fun way. So I want you to share in the comments below just the thing you're going to measure. What are you going to measure? Is it dollars? If it's dollars, just put the little dollar sign in the comments below. If it's net income, net worth, gross sales, number of sales calls, which I don't recommend, because just because you make a certain number of calls doesn't mean you're going to reach your financial goal, etc. But pick something. Pick anything that works for you. Like I do. I just pick things that work for me. I think sometimes it's fun to add some fun and creativity to the things that we do because it keeps us more interested in it. Thus, the weird little thermostat thing that I'm doing. Or I don't even know what that's called. I think it's like a beaker that you're filling up with water from science class when we were in school. All right, any questions? Ask me. Please, please, please ask. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow, and we are going to hop into relationships. Remember, out of our 9 areas, I said health, meaning physical health, finances, and relationships are always the big 3. So I like to break them down one day at a time with the SOAP framework and make sure that we have at least a dozen tools that we can use to apply the SOAP framework for different situations in our life. So we will use 4 new tools for the S, the O, the A, and the P starting tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Questions asked. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow.